It was a cold, storm-drenched Thanksgiving evening, the kind where the rain sounds like handfuls of gravel hitting the roof. Our family is small, so gatherings are quiet, just my mom, my two sisters, our grandparents, and me. Nancy, my older sister, had moved out years ago. Jamie and I still lived at home. Our grandparents lived only 20 minutes away, but with the storm raging, it felt like an hour. They arrived around 5 p.m., and the rain was so heavy we had to walk out with umbrellas and guide them step by step up the slippery front stoop. By the time we got them inside, we were all soaked. Inside, the house felt warm and safe. We put the football game on. My grandpa, a die-hard Cowboys fan, settled in immediately. My sisters helped my mom in the kitchen while I kept my grandparents company. The storm, oddly enough, made everything feel cozy, peaceful even. By 6 o'clock, as always, the table was set. Turkey, lamb, stuffing, corn, cranberry sauce, potatoes, cornbread. Way too much food for the number of people present, but that was tradition. We ate, talked, drank wine, and moved back to the living room to finish the game together. Then the doorbell rang, a loud, sharp chime cutting through the sound of the storm. None of us were expecting anyone. It was still pouring outside harder than before. My mom froze, then muttered, "Oh no. What if that's your father?" My parents don't talk. Long story. But the possibility of him showing up wasn't completely impossible. She told me to go check. I walked to the door and shouted, "Who is it?" But the rain hitting the awning was so loud I couldn't hear anything. So I opened the main door, but kept the storm door locked. A man stood outside, wearing an oversized rain jacket with the hood pulled low. Water streamed off him like he had been walking for miles. He stepped forward and shouted something I couldn't hear. I had to ask him twice before I understood he was asking for food. He said he was hungry, that the Lord blesses those who help others. I went back to the living room and told my mom a hungry man was asking for food. My mom immediately said, "Close the door." But my grandma, soft-hearted as ever, said, "Give him something. It's Thanksgiving." I figured giving him a plate of leftovers would be harmless. I grabbed a couple of paper plates, extra ones, so the rain wouldn't ruin. The man piled some food, inside a little paper plate sandwich. When I returned, the man was still standing there in the rain. I held up the food to show him, and that's when he tried opening the door. My gut dropped. I shouted, "Wait, it's locked." But the moment I unlocked it to hand him the food, he yanked the door with surprising force and tried to push his way inside. Instinct kicked in. I threw the food at him and braced my body against the doorframe, shouting for my sisters. Nancy ran over, and together we shoved him out. As we slammed the door, I caught sight of two more men rushing up the walkway, figures in dark clothes sprinting toward the house. We managed to lock the door just as they reached it. My heart was pounding. I sprinted to the back door to check the lock, then moved from window to window, trying to see through the thick sheets of rain. My family was panicking. My mom grabbed her phone and called the police. Through the backyard window, in brief flashes between lightning, I saw two men running across the grass toward the back door. They pulled on it hard, but it was locked. After failing to get in, they ran back toward the gate and disappeared into the darkness. By the time police arrived, the front stoop still had the scattered Thanksgiving food I'd thrown soaking in the rain, proof the men didn't want food. They wanted access. Our quiet Thanksgiving night had nearly turned into something horrific. We probably wouldn't have survived if my sister and I didn't react fast enough. My grandma meant well. She always does. But sometimes helping a stranger isn't kindness, it's danger disguised as desperation. We installed a doorbell camera the next day, and now, every Thanksgiving, no matter how warm the house feels, I still remember the sound of that doorbell ringing through the storm. Thanksgiving night should have felt warm and safe, but mine did not this year. I was at my parents' house since they were hosting, and for the first time in months, I was surrounded by cousins, uncles, and the familiar noise of our small family. They cooked a huge meal, as always, and I was helping in the kitchen when my phone buzzed with a long SAL-link text from an unknown number. At first, I thought it was some random spam message, until I read the first line. "Hey Melissa, hope your Thanksgiving is going well." My stomach dropped. I knew exactly who it was. Kevin, The stalker I had never even met in person. Months ago, we matched on a dating app. We texted for a bit, but I quickly picked up on something off. His messages felt clingy, obsessive. And when I politely said I didn't think we were a match, he snapped. He became hostile, accusing me of lying, blaming me for wasting his time, even sending threats when he saw a Snapchat story of me having drinks with a friend. So I blocked him. On everything. Snapchat, Instagram, his number. But he never went away. New accounts kept adding 0 followers, 0 snaps, different names. Always him. The message he sent that night was full of manipulation and veiled threats. I texted back, "If you contact me again, I'm going to the police." It took me a while to send that reply, and my grandma got irritated that I was on my phone during Thanksgiving, so I shoved it away and tried to enjoy dinner. 30 minutes later, another message, another long, hateful paragraph from a new number. I ignored it so it wouldn't ruin the night. But when some relatives left, I showed the text to the rest of the family. My parents were horrified. My mom insisted that I go to the police the next day. After dinner, I left to go home. I live in the downstairs unit of a 2-family house, sharing the apartment with my roommate Chelsea. She hadn't returned yet, so I went straight to my room and put on a Christmas rom-com to relax. Halfway through the movie, my phone lit up. Unknown caller. I declined. I felt sick. I knew it was him. I put the phone face down and tried to focus on the movie. But moments later, I heard footsteps. Not upstairs. Inside the apartment, they walked straight toward my room. Then my doorknob rattled. Someone tried to open my door. I always lock my door at night out of habit, and thank God I did. I paused the movie, listening as the knob turned again and again. Finally, I shouted, "Chelsea." The noise stopped. Slow footsteps retreated down the hall. My heart was pounding as I checked my phone, only to see more messages from a third new number. The worst one read, "Good thing you made it obvious where you live." My whole body went cold. I tried calling Chelsea 5 times. No answer. I called my parents over and over until my dad picked up. I whispered that I thought Kevin was inside the apartment. My dad drove so fast that he arrived in 5 minutes. He forced the front door open when I unlocked it, and I told him everything as we searched the apartment. No one was there. But then my dad walked to the big sliding kitchen window, the one I never locked. He lifted it up easily. Then he turned to me with a look I'll never forget, equal parts fear and frustration. That's how someone got in, through the unlocked window. I went home with him that night. I didn't sleep at all. The next morning, he took me to the county courthouse. They guided us through filing for a temporary restraining order. A week later, I had to face Kevin in person for the final hearing. He looked exactly like the kind of man who would obsess over a stranger. Cold, entitled, angry. The judge extended the restraining order easily. The threatening texts were more than enough. To this day, I'll never know if it really was him who entered my apartment, but I believe it was, and I pray he hasn't found another woman to terrorize.